All right, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get started right away. I'm willing to bet that you spend weeks, maybe even months, perfecting your business, building this vision into fruition, right? You built the website, you set up the social media, you told everyone you know about what you do. You're shouting about your business from the rooftops every opportunity you get, but it feels like you're shouting into an empty street. It becomes very, very frustrating. And it feels like you're constantly trying to interrupt people who aren't even listening. But if you could stop shouting, what would you do? What if instead of interrupting potential customers, you could just show up like a helpful, perfect answer at the exact moment they realize they have a problem that you can solve? What would that mean for you? That is the magic of Google Ads. It's not about interrupting, it's about answering. And if you're a local business owner who's tired of marketing that just isn't working, you're in the right place. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you step by step how to stop chasing customers and how to let the right ones find you. Meet them where they are, right when they need you the most. First of all, the why. Stop interrupting, start answering. Remember those words. Get out your pad, write it down. Let's reframe how we think about marketing for a second. For years, marketing was all about interruption, TV commercials, button to your favorite show, radio ads, cut off the music. Even a lot of social media ads pop up while you're trying to see pictures of your cousin's new dog. The whole model is based on grabbing the attention of people who were happily doing something else. And I'm not here to tell you that that doesn't work, but that's not where you find success as a local business in Google. Google Ads is completely different. It is built on intent. Now, I know what you're thinking. People browse on Google all the time for ideas or compare things, and that's true. But when they have a problem that needs solving now, they go to Google with a mission. They have a question, a need. They are actively searching for something. And if you're lucky enough, it aligns with what you offer. Think about the searches: emergency plumber near me, best dentist in Austin, AC repair same day. These aren't casual thoughts. These are people who are crying for help. These are people with an immediate need, and they are literally telling Google exactly what they need. For a local business, this is pure gold. Unlike social media, where you target broad interests, Google lets you target immediate needs right in your local area. This is the mindset shift that I want you to focus on. You're not buying ads to annoy people, you're paying to be the most helpful, relevant, and timely answer to someone's urgent question. Step one, the foundation: campaigns, ad groups, and keywords. Get your note page out and comment free PDF if you want this outline for you. But before we jump to the platform, let's get the basic structure down. It can look complicated, but it's actually pretty logical. It's pretty intuitive. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet for your business. At the very top, you have your account. That's the whole cabinet tied to your business. It has your billing info, your business info, and so forth. But inside the cabinet, you have what are called campaigns. These are the main drawers. So again, think of a filing cabinet. As a best practice, it's a great idea to create separate campaigns for each main service that you offer. So if you're a plumber, you may have a campaign for emergency services, another one for water heater installations. Why? Because separating them gives you direct control over how much budget you spend on each part of your business. And we want to be frugal but effective. That's why you are a do-it-yourselfer. Inside each campaign drawer, you have what are called ad groups. Think of these as color-coded folders inside the drawer. Each ad group covers a more specific theme. So in your emergency services campaign, you can have an ad group for burst pipe repair or drain cleaning, sewer line issues. This is organization, and it is the key to the successful ad group. Finally, inside each ad group folder, you have your keywords. Is exactly what it sounds like. These are the gold for your ads. The keywords are the search terms that trigger your ad, and the ad is what the user sees. The secret to success is making sure the keywords in a folder are super related to the ad in the same folder. If someone searches for unclogged kitchen sink, they should see an ad about drain cleaning, not water heaters. This is a tight structure that you have to follow so that you have those structure signals of relevance. And relevance is a huge factor in Google determining your ad rank and what you pay. Part two, I'm going to walk you through building your first, what I refer to as, in Google does too, your helpful ad campaign. So let's get our hands dirty, open up a second screen. Hopefully you already have a Google Ads account. If you do not, you should pause this, create a Google Ad account. It's free, and then hop back in. Google is going to try to direct you into what they call their smart mode. It's meant to be simple, but it strips away all the control you need to run campaigns that don't waste your money. The very first thing you need to do is to look for a button that says switch to expert mode. I know it sounds intimidating. I'm not an expert, Clinton. I'm a business owner who's just trying to create Google Ads. I get it. I understand. It's not nearly as overwhelming as it may seem. The purpose of this is to give you a high-level overview of how to build that success. And it has to start with you switching to expert mode. Trust me, that's all I'm going to say. So let's get into campaign setup. When you get into campaign setup and you're in expert mode, I want you to click on the blue plus button to create a new campaign. First thing Google is going to ask you is, what is your objective? For most of my local businesses, it's going to be leads or website traffic. Those to me are the two best choices. This just tells Google what you're aiming for. Next, choose your campaign type. You're going to select search. What this means is your text ads will show up on the Google search results page when people type in terms related to your keywords. This is where your highest intent customers live, which is why this is where you want to live. Now, for the most important part for a local business is location targeting. You don't want to waste money. You don't want to light money on fire and try to advertise all over the country. Be precise. You can target specific cities, zip codes, radius, so 15-mile radius, 20-mile radius. And here's a tip. When it comes to under location options, select presence. People are regularly in your target locations. This stops your ads from showing to someone in Florida who's just randomly searching for services in your town. That counts. Again, we want to be budget conscious. Next is keywords. When speaking of your customer's language, this is basically the heart of your campaign. This is where you win or lose. So what you have to do is think exactly like your customer. You have to put yourself in your customer's shoes and not be an owner. What are the words that they are frantically typing into Google when they need you? You want to avoid super broad keywords like plumber or electrician or attorney. This could mean anything. They might be looking for a job, a DIY video. The definition of the word, you're going to burn through your budget with useless clicks. So instead, focus on longer, more specific phrases that scream intent. And remember, intent is what we are focused on. We're not looking for the person who's casually browsing. We certainly don't want to waste budget on people who are not looking for our product or services. So I'll revert back to the plumber example. And for a plumber, it could be emergency plumber near me, or it could be 24/7 plumbing service in Austin or LA. It could be cost to fix a leaky faucet, informational. When you add these to your ad group, start with phrase match. So by putting them in quotes, an exact match, by putting them in brackets, this gives you way more control than the default setting. Remember that. Just as important is, or just as important, what you're doing there is telling Google that you don't want to show up for. You do this with negative keywords. You should immediately add negative like free, jobs, training, DIY, videos. This simple step will save you a fortune by filtering out irrelevant searches from day one. Again, you are trying to target and meet your customers where they are when they are frantically looking for you. Next is ad copy. So this is where you're crafting the perfect answer. Your ad is your 3-second elevator pitch. It needs to be clear, compelling, a direct match for the keywords in its ad group. A great local ad answers 3 questions instantly. What you do, where you do it, and why should I call you? Remember that. Keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about your ad strategy. Google's standard ad format is the responsive search ad. You'll give it a bunch of headlines, up to 15, and descriptions, I believe up to 4, and its AI will mix and match them to find the winning combos. In my experience, in 10 years, a simple recipe for great local ad headlines starts with match the keyword. Step 1, I should say, is the headline. You want to match the keywords. So think emergency plumbing repair. Headline 2, state a huge benefit or offer. 24/7 servers available. Get a free estimate. A huge benefit has to be headline 2. Headline 3, use your name and location. So Austin Plumbing Pros, Connecticut Plumbing Experts. In your descriptions, I want you to then expand on those points. So mention you're licensed and insured, or have 5-star reviews, or have been in business for X amount of years, and always end with a clear call to action. Call now for a free quote. Finally, you have to use what Google now calls their assets. Used to be called ad extensions. So these are the extra snippets of info that make your ad bigger and more useful. For local businesses, the most important are location assets to show your map pin, call assets to add a clickable phone number, site link assets to link to specific pages on your site. Ads with well-chosen assets can really help you stand out. So please remember to use them. And then part 4 is time to get busy. It's time to get live. Budget and launch. This is the last step. You set a daily budget. Say it's $20 per day. Now, be aware that Google might spend $30 in one day and $10 the next, but it will average out to your daily budget over the course of a month. So pick a daily number you're comfortable with. I personally recommend that if you can't spend $1,000, I prefer somewhere around $1,200 on the Google ad strategy. You definitely should really consider if you want to work on an ad budget, because if you're spending $200-$300, you may get lucky and get a lead or two, but a lot of the data and optimization that goes into a successful Google ad strategy doesn't allow you to learn a lot with such a low budget. So it is not BS if you consult with my agency or a different agency and they say, you need to be in an ad budget. Most are going to tell you you need to at minimum be spending between $1,500 and $2,000 a month on your ad budget. Sometimes, depending on the industry, I've gone as low as $1,000, but there's so much data that you can't capture with a really low budget. So I strongly recommend that if your budget is really tight, $200 to $300, you likely should spend your money on something else versus a Google ad strategy. But assuming you have the budget, let's say you're doing $20 a day and you want to build on success. Again, you want to pick a daily number that you're comfortable with. For bidding, a simple place to start is maximize clicks. It does exactly what it says. It tries to get you the most clicks possible for your budget. In my experience, it's a really good starting point before you have conversion tracking properly set up. Following that, next is view everything. Make sure it's all lined up. Hopefully you have notes from this episode and you're checking everything off your list. You want to review the ad, and once you know everything's good and you're ready to publish, go ahead and publish your ad. Congratulations, you just launched your first Google ad. Now, ultimately, launching a campaign is just step 1. The real power of Google Ads comes from optimization, watching your results and making them better. seeing which keywords are making the phone ring and which ones are just wasting cash. That's everything, because you know what to turn off and what to turn on, what you should dedicate more budget towards, and what you should turn off or dedicate less budget. After all, clicks are not what pays your business. Clicks are not how you keep your people employed. Clicks are not how you scale and grow. Clicks are great, but clicks don't pay the bills. Customers pay your bills. And the only way to know what's really working is to track it. Say it with me. We have to track everything. And that's our next mission. Now that your campaign is running, you need to understand the story the data is telling you. So stay tuned for my next episode, which is going to be Google Ads tracking for local businesses. And on that episode, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to see exactly which keywords and ads are bringing in actual leads. And more importantly, learning Google's ads is ultimately a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not something you can set it and forget it. But don't get discouraged if it isn't perfect on day one, because no one's going to be perfect on day one. You're going to make changes. That's where you pay professionals or learn how to behave like professionals. What I do when I have a client on is the ad strategy that we launch on day one is likely going to change in 14 days. Then it's likely going to change in another 30 days, or different times in those time frames, because we're constantly optimizing. We're paying attention to what's working, what's not working, and making pivots and making changes and making suggestions, changing copy, changing assets and so forth to align with driving more success and maximizing our clients' budgets. But now that you have launched your first ad, you're now positioned to meet your customers at the exact moment that they need you. And that is the most powerful kind of marketing there is. Without further delay, that's the end of this episode. I want to thank you for joining. Again, these are just hard-hitting, quick how-tos so that you as a do-it-yourselfer can scale and grow your business online. As always, comment free PDF if you want our free 90-day outline. If you would like a consultation, feel free to reach out to us at bestfitdigital.co. And as always, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, make it a great day on purpose.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.